Oh, hello, I'm Playa, you can call me Playa. And today, as a gamer myself, I've decided to, sit out here for once and enjoy the view, unlike most gamers. Damn, I haven't acted like a virgin for 10 seconds. Marvel Universe.
Ah, Marvel, the cinema killer. Anyways, jokes aside, I really love Marvel, from their comics to their movies to even their shows, even when some aren't that great. Even though I'm more of a DC guy myself, I still respect Marvel for creating such an impact on pop culture, and nothing has impacted pop culture and film as much as the Marvel Cinematic Universe. For those who don't know, a cinematic universe is a film franchise where a bunch of movies take place in that same universe, and they usually have one big crossover, or in some one-offs, some characters make some small cameos. At least that's what I think it is. Marvel was practically the first one to do the cinematic universe shtick that a bunch of other companies are trying to do now, but can't do it like Marvel. There's just a special element to them that ties it up nicely. Maybe it's been doing too well considering the box office of films that aren't Marvel nowadays. Very lately, people have been starting to fall out with Marvel, mainly due to the amount of projects that have been coming out lately, with Phase 4 being over 2 days long in one sitting. But before I get to talking about that stage of Marvel, I want to get back to what started it all.
So anyways, let's get started with Phase 1 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, hoping that the Virgin Police don't find me.
Iron Man is the first film to start off this gigantic franchise, and man, what a film. Iron Man released in May 2008 to some pretty good reception, and me personally, I love this film. It might just be my personal favorite out of Phase 1, but it's not the best one. You see, as much as the film gets me moving and grooving, the villain, like other Marvel films, is stupid. It's just some guy who's like, ugh, I hate Tony Stark, I'm gonna build a robot like him, but bigger and badder, grrr. But it doesn't really distract me much from the film. The effects are great and Robert Downey Jr. brings such an excellent charm to the character. Not many more complaints, honestly.
8 out of 10.
Okay, so The Incredible Hulk released in June 2008 to, reviews. Me personally, I don't hate this film. I just think that it's boring. Even though I think Edward Norton in his sadly one and only film as Bruce Banner does a great job as Bruce, I just think that he can't keep me entertained throughout an almost 2-hour movie. But I do have to say though, the effects are super damn good, and the design of Hulk is great. But Abomination? No, just come on, just no. Overall, I just think the film's boring, and only entertaining when the dude in the title is actually in the movie.
3 out of 10.
Iron Man 2 released in May 2010, and okay, a lot of fans are divisive about Iron Man 2. And me personally, I think Iron Man 2 is just okay. I mean, I'm gonna say this a lot, but I think the effects are still great, especially with Whiplash and Iron Man. Oh yeah, I should mention that the suit-up scenes of Iron Man are freaking awesome throughout the MCU. Now this film is definitely not as good as the first Iron Man, but it is of course saved by Robert Downey Jr.'s performance as Tony Stark. But I don't know, something about his portrayal in this movie is just a little off. Now obviously it's the same dude playing the same guy, but his charm is just not hitting me the same. There's not really much to say about this one, honestly. I just think the film's okay. It just bores here and there, but it's still not a bad addition to the Iron Man films.
4 out of 10.
Thor released in May 2011 and is pretty f***ing boring. There's too many goddamn Dutch tilts, and I just feel like the editor fell asleep on his keyboard that was on the exposure setting, and it went down by a lot. But with those complaints out of the way, Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Tom Hiddleston as Loki, and heckin' Anthony Hopkins as Odin are all really spectacular in these roles. I honestly can't think of anyone else playing these guys. Also, the vital part of the movie is the visuals. And by visuals, I mean the CGI. They were great when on Asgard. It was just too damn good to look at. Oh yeah, another complaint I have is the fact that they, just spend too much damn time on Earth. Like, dude, just let us see Thor on Asgard. It's just not that hard. God damn.
4 out of 10.
Captain America the First Avenger released in July 2011. And listen, Captain America the First Avenger is a really good film that is kind of divisive to me. Listen, I really love the World War aspects of this film, like the colors they use and the costume they use for the characters. The fighting in the war with the super soldier throwing around his shield against the enemies is all great. But me personally, I really don't get into the super weapon stuff. Like, I know it's Marvel, but I just don't really enjoy when they bring in the super beam and the super cube type thing to the film. I'm aware this film features a guy whose head looks like it has been dipped into a bunch of red wax, and a guy who throws around the shield in the middle of battle. But I don't know, it just doesn't stick with me personally. But I still really like this one.
7 out of 10.
The Avengers released in May 2012, and was the first big crossover movie between all these characters. Well, 3.5. And even when you compare it to the other Avengers movies, this one is still one of the best Marvel movies in my opinion. From the characters, to the plot lines, to yet again, the effects, they are all just brilliantly fleshed out, and just magnificent to see all these characters come together for its time. Not much to say about this movie, it's really good and you should check it out if you haven't already.
9 out of 10. Well, that was the first phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and boy does it get bigger from here. Anyways, I'm Playa, but you can call me...
Hey, there he is! Hey, you, stop!